Hello, traders. This is Jerome Manglona, and in this week's Market Watch, we're going to talk about a couple trades that we took advantage of this previous week, and then a few trades that we're going to be looking into come Sunday open. So, first, we're going to talk about the pound, a couple of the pound pairs here. We have the pound dollar here, and as you can see, I've definitely marked up my support and resistance lines. The thick ones are from a weekly standpoint, and the thinner ones are from dailies. And that's really all I look for support and resistance. I just want those key points in the market. So, what did I identify as far as our trades goes? Well, the one thing that I did identify is we caught a little bit. Okay, the pound dollar was kind of a tricky little pair for us, because what I saw was that we were in a retracement here. If I can do this right here, let's see. Where was I? Was I on? I think I was on the 4-hour. I'm sorry, guys. There it was. Yep, I think I was on the 4-hour. And what we did was we caught a retracement based off of pure structure, guys. So I saw this right here. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see what I'm looking at. So, excuse the ads. So I saw this right here. We had this previous resistance, and then we came up to and held this support, hit this weekly resistance, pulled back down, and then we got some nice kangaroo tails, bullish engulfings, and I wanted in on this. So what we did was we took the opportunity to buy here, stops down at the previous low. It took a while, but eventually it popped up. It hit our target. I typically do just a 1-to-1. I want to, at least get a 1-to-1 target hit. And as soon as that hit, guys, the market just went crazy, and it pulled right back on us for a stop break even. And I believe some of our traders even sold the way down. So that was pretty awesome. It took a while for us to get there, but we hit our targets, and we even caught the pushback down. So now that we're in this pushback down, guys, if I extend this here, we obviously broke lower lows. We've hit a daily support. But if you look at the candles, this has no intention of stopping here, guys. Look at that. I mean, the way the candle closed at the end of the week, and with this huge bearish candle prior, huge wick to the top side, this basically told me that, hey, the pound dollar has definitely is intending to push down even further. So what's our next place of interest? That would be down here, right along these support levels right here. And notice how close it is to my dailies here. So I'm very, when I find a little bit of confluence like that, where you have structure lining up with your support and resistance, it's definitely something to watch out for. So what I could say is that I would be looking for this market to actually probably do one of these, where it pushes down, maybe possible retracement back up, just to test this level of structure. And that may give us an opportunity for a sell. And if I use a Fibonacci from the high to a projected swing low, you'll see that we get a 382 retracement, the 618 coming back right into this layer structure here. So, even stretching it out to this where the daily is. So we got some confluence here, guys. We definitely have some support and resistance confluence, structure confluence. I like it. I want the pound dollar to continue push down. I don't plan on buying the breakout. I don't know where the gap's going to be, but I don't plan on selling this breakout. But I do want to see some type of retracement for me to hit a sell and continue this projected downtrend. So if we get the push down, retrace, I'll be looking to sell. I'm not necessarily a breakout trader. I'm more of a trend follower, but it's definitely an option. And if it does come down here and it starts showing some bullish moves and this support holding, there's nothing wrong with counter trend trading and just buying the way up. So you know, if that's what you want to do. There's money to be made in the counter trend. Now, what I did also notice is if you look at how the pound dollar moved, so it made this high, right? If I'm just looking at these major swings, made this low, made a higher high, and then it looks like we're intending to push lower, right? We're intending to push lower. Now, here's what I find interesting. If we get this market to push down, okay, push even further down to this weekly resistance points, or maybe just a little bit above, okay, and here's why. Look left, right? If we look left, structure leaves clues. Actually, instead of doing that, I'll do this. There we go. Okay, so we look left. Obviously, we're in a downtrend, major downtrend. If we probably look at dailies or something, we'll be in a major downtrend. But what I notice is we have this little level here. Okay, we're on a 4-hour chart, and we have this little level here where the markets came down, hit as support, retested as support, tried to break through, couldn't, closed below, retested as resistance, pushed down, and then finally the market turned over. So that definitely will have an interest for me as far as this movement here. And the reason why is, here's what I could see. If the market continues to push down lower and lower and lower, we could potentially have a cipher pattern. And if my traders know that I absolutely love trading the cipher pattern. So we get a push up, retracement back into at least the 382, but doesn't pass the 618. So that's great. We got the first point of our cipher pattern right here. Okay. Let me actually thin that out. That like looks super thick. There you go. Right. So there was the top of the move, the top of the swing. Here's the X leg. If you want to start learning how harmonics is, here's our X right here. So here's our X to A. Here's our A. And then we have our B leg, which is the pullback. And then we got our C leg right up here. And if the ratios match up, it should be a 1-2-7-2 extension off of the X to A leg. Bring it back in. And boom, right on the money. So this C leg definitely hit our ratios exactly. Sorry about that. So if I was to trade this as a harmonic pattern, then, you know, we got our fib ratios met. It's all met. I don't know why I deleted that one. Keep that here. What we need now is a 786 from the X to C leg. Okay. And let me edit my ratios here. Take this off. Add the 786. 786 to 886 is what I'm looking for as our kill zone. And look how that lines up perfectly, guys. The 786 with confluence of structure. Okay. And then to further more, I haven't taught this yet to my traders, but it's called a fib inversion. If we get a 1-2-7-2, that would be even better. Okay. So we got the 1-2-7-2, just so it's a nice little zone here, right? And I also typically look at a 1-4-1-4. So it's kind of like the 786 to 886 is my zone. Then the 1-2-7-2 and the 1-4-1-4 becomes a zone. So when you look at this, traders, you look at it as a zone. Here's what I'm looking for as far as an entry point for an overall cipher pattern. So this would be a bullish cipher pattern. I know there's a lot of lines, but you know, I had to make sure that the fib ratios matched up, and I'd be looking for something like this, right? And that will be our D leg completion right there. Okay, so we took advantage of just a small little push up into resistance. We made some pips there, about 40 pips, I believe. And then some of us caught the ride on the way down. Whether they're still in it or not, I'm not sure. I know I don't really hold my trades over the weekend, so I'm out of it, but I will be waiting for a push down into the 1.29520s as far as a D-leg completion for this cipher pattern. And obviously on the way down, guys, on the way down, there's no problems with you guys following the waves. Let me make this a bright pink color, thicken it up so I can show you what I'm talking about. So the market will push down into this structure, support and resistance, and then possibly giving us a retrace, right? Setting us up for another sell opportunity, and then the market pushing down into that 1272 extension. So if I use my fibs that way, right? This is where I'm thinking it'll pull back or stop and pull back into. This is how you project trades, guys. It's if then, you know. So there you go. We get a 382 retracement is what I'm looking for. And if we get a 382 retracement, I'm obviously looking for the 1272 extension. And look at that. Right into our targets for, you know, it's a little above, but it's definitely right into our zone for this cipher pattern. So, you know, there's a couple trades you can look out for. You can look out for the counter trend opportunity and buy it up when you hit support. Buy it up here back into a 382 retracement. You know, even if it comes up to a 618, that's perfectly fine. That's going to set us up for a nice buy opportunity or sell opportunity, I'm sorry. And then we're going to aim for that 1272 extension. So, and as soon as we get the 1272 extension, take some profits off, and then we're going to be looking for the cipher pattern completion back to the upside. Okay, that's how you trade this market here. And if you look on a daily chart, guys, we're obviously in this range, right? We're in consolidation on a daily standpoint. So if we're looking at this 4-hour chart, you know, all we're doing is trading the waves down, and then we're going to trade right back up. So there's a couple three trades to look out for: counter trend opportunity, and then selling down into selling a pullback, and then buying a cipher pattern trade. So there's 3 trades in here, guys. Something to look out for this week. All right. The next one I wanted to look at here was the pound yen. So the pound yen had a similar situation, guys. You know, obviously, once again, weeklies are the thick lines, dailies are the thin lines. And with the pound yen, I had a little bit of a different analysis, and it was because I get my lines here. What I noticed was, you know, if we look back, if we just kind of scroll back, we've been taking advantage of the pound since here. So if I mark this line here, all right, let's change the color so you can actually see what I'm looking at. This hot pink line here. The market came down, held a support, broke through. We waited for the retrace, right? Right back up into structure. We got some spinning tops, and then we got this bullish move down, so we sold it. If we look on an hourly chart, you will see that that's what we took advantage of. Because I think we were on the hourly. Yep, here we go. So we got some kangaroo tails, bullish moves, and it pushed our direction. We sold it. We caught this move down, and then we just rode the wave down. And then I showed my traders that we did have the cipher pattern here. Bam, 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 bam. Oops, sorry. It's actually over there. There you go. So we had this cipher pattern. We didn't really trade anything else here. But then once we got this cipher pattern, we sold it. We caught a bit of movement down here. And then I noticed this double bottom, right? I'm just summing up some trades here. We noticed the double bottom. I said if we get a 618 retracement, then we'd have a 2618 trade, which we got right here, right on the money, right? And I did mention that I got in this one a little late. My entry was right about where this this resistance line was. I made sure it broke through, and we took the opportunity and rode the wave up. And then what was really awesome is we had another harmonic opportunity. That was a cipher, and then we had a Gartley pattern. Boom. We had the Gartley pattern completion. We sold it. Unfortunately, I didn't ride the entire wave. I rode it until target 1 was hit, which was right about here. Look left, you have some structural resistance that I thought was going to hold us up, which it did, but then it fell over, which was nice for anybody who's stuck in it. And then we kind of stayed away from the pound. And when I looked at it late last week, I saw this wedge pattern here. Okay, nice little wedge pattern. Bam. So we got an ascending wedge pattern, and as soon as I saw that, I just said, you know what? I want a retracement. I want a retracement back up into previous structure. Actually, I didn't even use a fib. We saw the push up, and I said I wanted it to pull back down into this support level, right? What was once resistance should be support. So that's what I wanted, and we finally got this right here, this kangaroo tail right here, right? And a bullish move triggered our trade. We took advantage of this, and we actually stayed in this trade for a full day and a half, guys. If you saw this, full day and a half. And then finally, I projected that we were going to hit at least a 1272. So I take my fib extensions right back down in, and boom, we hit our targets. It took a full day, but you know what? It was worth it. We hit our targets, and then as of that point, obviously, anybody looking to counter trend trade this right here, that would be awesome. You can definitely counter trend trade this back down in to at least this level of structure here. Look left, you'll have some support and resistance confluence. So you'll be looking down there, down right here. Some resistance here, support. So, if you want to counter trend trade this coming week, I'm not sure where this will gap. This is the 1 hour chart. I'm not sure how far deep this will gap, or if it'll just stay up here. But you can definitely look for this counter trend opportunity. It would definitely be back up into probably a 618, right? A little lower than a 618. So, well, that's where that is. It could hold up here. So this is kind of your zone, I guess, guys. If you really want to nitpick, this is your zone of where to come in. Look left. We definitely have some structure behind this. So that's definitely what you'd be looking for as far as targets and to buy. So, here's another couple opportunities. You're going to counter trend trade this down depending on the gap, guys. Wait for the gap. Don't just hop in because Sunday market opens comes and then, Rome said that it should pull down. I'm just projecting that it will. The market moves in waves, and it hit our 1272 extension. I'm looking for a pullback. Could it stop at a 382? Possibly. Look at this resistance zone. But what I do like is I like the deeper retracements, and that should set us up for a nice buy opportunity as well. So, be careful in the counter trend trade, especially since the week closed with it on a curve. So, you never know, it could open and be way down here already. So if that's the case, you just wait for the buy opportunity, and that would be something that I'll look into. Okay. Let's see what else. We were in USD CAD last week, and this was a very interesting trade. I'm not sure how many of my traders got into this one, but what I did was I went on a 4-hour chart. So if you haven't noticed, my charts typically stick to 1 hour or 4 hours. And obviously you see my weekly and daily support and resistance. But was it a 1 4 hour? No, this was 1 hour. What I noticed was this. So if we look left, something interesting. No, it was a 4 hour. I'm sorry, guys. Don't know what I'm looking at. what I noticed was this market came straight down, right? So we're going to mark it like this. Came straight down, pulled back, okay? And then it pushed down again, found a weekly support level, pulled back, and then it gave us one of these, right? And that was interesting to me because then the market pulled back and it was about right here. And I'm looking at this and I go, well, if you really look at it, that is a what? It is a reversed head and shoulders, right? Or inverted head and shoulders. I'm sorry, inverted head and shoulders. So that this type of pattern typically indicates that there's going to be, you know, if we get a break of the neckline, which was right about here, we should be buying, right? We should be buying the break of the neckline and ride this up. Now, this is a 4-hour chart, so that would be crazy to wait so many hours. So what I did was I went down to an hourly chart and I noticed another pattern, right? And I just went over this pattern on pound dollar. So here's what I saw. So at the time I saw this pattern right here, okay? Nice little pennant pattern. We got a break and I literally got in, guys, at this second candle. It closed and then I got in at this second candle right here, okay? Had my stops above the high and I wrote this down to where? I wrote it down to at least this point here. Get my arrow. At least to this point because I didn't like that thing just closed and then shoop, suck right back up. So on an hourly chart, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna wait till it gets near here. I front run my my targets and I got filled. And so this was a very nice about 1.5 to 1 trade that I took advantage of, which was super nice. And then finally, boom, we get a bullish engulfing. And a lot of times when I look at these candle patterns, the more space we have in between other, you know, the rest of the noise, the better. So this definitely set us up for a nice buy opportunity. And I kind of waited. I didn't take advantage until roughly, oops, not that one. I didn't take advantage until it actually made higher highs. So as soon as that happened, I did take advantage up here and I was able to catch this move to resistance. So now that that has happened, obviously this market has broken the neckline, right? If you look at a bigger picture. But what I want you to see is now that we have this going on, this is a huge impulse leg, guys. So what I would like to see is this market pull back down in. Okay, yes, I want this. I want this to pull back down in to previous structure and set us up for a nice buy opportunity to continue this trend upwards. So if you look on a 4-hour chart, this market has reversed. It made a previous higher high, higher low, higher high plus a higher low. That is an uptrend. So I'm definitely looking for this market to give us a nice pullback here, you know, from this weekly resistance point, pull back into previous structure, set us up for a nice buy opportunity. You know, look left, we have a nice structure that's going to hold us here or should hold us here, right? What was once resistance should be support. And that should give us a nice buy opportunity to ride this wave up. Okay. So there's a few trades for you guys to watch out for. You know, other than that, I'm not really looking at anything else. I did notice on UJ, the dollar yen, you know, it pushed up as well, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere land. If I looked at my weekly and my daily support and resistance lines, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere land. I'm not trying to hop into, you know, something that may not happen. So I would actually just be waiting for this market to possibly present a counter trade opportunity here. So a sell, you know, it's made higher highs. This market obviously broke this high, broke this high, right? Broke this high. Sorry, my lines are not too straight. Broke this high. So now we have this high to worry about. And, if you ask me, that'll present us with a nice counter trend trade. So, maybe looking for some bearish signals for us to take advantage of a counter trend trade. So a sell opportunity. But other than that, I'm just watching. I'm on the sidelines. I'll be sitting on my hands on this one. Okay. So, I hope I gave you guys some nice trade ideas to come up with, or to watch out for, I should say. The pound dollar will definitely be in my hot list for a watch, because I definitely want to see these type of movements. On the move down, counter trend trade opportunity, seller retracement into a cipher pattern completion for another buy. So it's going to be like 3 trades back to back if they set up for us. And then of course the actually the pound yen, looking for a pullback into the 618, and then continue this trend upwards. And then USD CAD for a counter trend opportunity as well. So maybe a sell. If we get some bearish signals, a sell here, that would be nice. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting on my hands, guys. So until the next video, I hope you came out of this video with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more skill set than you came in. And until next week, guys, happy trading.